Now then, guys, can everyone hear me?
We can
Hello
indeed.
there.
We are here, finally, at the end of season 1. Sad to say it has been fun, but sad to say it is coming to an end now, season 1.
I was going to say,
But-
only season 1.
Yeah, but good news, season 2 will be starting in a couple of weeks. But anyway, guys, welcome to the
Yes.
last episode of season 1. And as you all are all aware, this is a special guest episode. And we do have a special guest episode. Before we get into that, we're just going to do a brief little intro. And how's your guys' week been for this week?
I'll let Chef go first.
This week's felt long. I ain't gonna lie at work, but next week I am off work for the entirety of the week. So,
Very nice.
because it is my birthday next Friday.
Happy birthday for next Friday, Chef.
Happy birthday for next week.
Yeah.
28. Fuck.
You're old.
You
How-
old
how,
bastard.
how about you, Josh?
I feel like shit, mate.
You look at
I'm not going to lie.
You sound a
thanks,
bit old.
bro.
What's wrong there? You sound a bit old.
Can you remember back to season 1, episode 1?
Yeah,
Um,
when I was ill.
Chef had a sore throat and was ill, and we asked what was going on, and he said that the glory holes were looking tempting.
Oh yeah.
Well, I took his advice and.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
This is.
Yeah, that's what happens. It
This
just
is-
scratches
this
the back
is
of
it.
your throat, you know? Gives it a
It
good
does,
tickle.
Jesus
So-
Christ.
Tickles your
I'm going to
tonsils.
apologise. I'm going to apologise for sounding rough. But it was a good weekend.
Sucking too much dick again, have we?
Hey, Katsun. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well.
Yeah, man. Oh Christ. So,
Mm.
before we bring this special guest on and we introduce him, has anyone
Yes.
got anything that you guys want to talk about or bring up before we bring him on and absolutely slander him?
Santa Paws?
Does anyone want to
No, I
give?
mean,
any-
I've got some stuff to say when he's on,
Okay.
but you know, I'm going to wait for that. Wait until he's in. So we'll be in the next five minutes, guys. So stay around because he will be
If
coming
you
on.
was, if you was to describe this special guest in 3 words, what 3 words would you use?
What 3 words would I use?
Mm-hmm.
Shit haircut. Right.
All right,
Right.
fair enough.
We will say those 3 words, and he might show it. He might not.
I hope
You
so.
never know.
I was going to say another 3 words of receding hairline. In fact, Sid's just put that in chat as well. That's brilliant.
I mean,
I can just imagine him boiling up in the background, just hearing all this, not being able to say shit back to us.
It's all right for the
Yeah,
guys watching.
yeah.
We do know the special guest, so he probably will rinse us at some point.
Yeah.
So it's
I
going to
don't
be
know.
a bit of back and forth. Well, Chef does not know him, but
really.
Well, so Chef doesn't know him, but as I was gonna say, me and Joe have met him a few times outside of the podcast. Some hints I will give is he's a bit of an artist. He does like doing
Artist
some
or
art.
autistic?
That was going to be my second word. He is a bit acoustic. But no, to be fair, he's a good laugh, and it's going to be. Well, I hope it's going to be a good episode. This one, so time will only tell. But
You never
Well,
know.
I was going to say, without further ado, guys, I would like to introduce you all in stream to our special guest. So he's going to join in anytime now
no pressure, Nick.
when he gets his camera on. Here he is.
boys.
Here he is, guys.
Hello.
He's in.
Here he is.
He's
Indeed.
here.
Hubby.
He
He's
is
currently on his
here.
phone because he's a poor man.
Yeah,
Poor
I
man.
apologise for
It's got shit.
technical,
It's got
technical
shit
difficulties.
PC syndrome.
He's also hiding a hairline.
major shit PC syndrome. I don't know what you're talking about, brother. Honestly,
How about we all take
Or
our
is it? Or
hats
is
off?
it? Or is it what
when
hairline?
when your brother invited me to come do this podcast, I was so excited. Right, it's a nice little thing. It's outside of work. It's with 2 lads I've worked with and I respect, and I consider them friends. And meeting a new guy who seems sound as fuck. You know, I've seen some of your podcasts and stuff like that. You didn't mention the part where I have to sit for a few minutes and just get roasted to the point where steam's coming out my ears.
I was going to say, was that not part of the contract?
It was in the small print, like right at the bottom. It was like dead tiny. It was hard. It wasn't even there. It was that small.
Well, you know I can't read, so that's not really fair, is it?
Oh,
So,
you said have
for
something
anyone-
problem then.
So, Christ. So for anyone who's unaware inside this podcast chat, the only way I can describe Nick was before he had a haircut, he looked somewhat similar to Ragnar from the TV show Vikings. You know, the top hair slicked back into sort of like a ponytail, looking badass. And now he's having to hide himself with a hat, and we will get that hat off him at some point this afternoon.
I don't know. I mean,
Well, anyways, Nick, you're on the podcast.
Yeah, he's on the podcast.
So
I am on the podcast.
I guess the
Long
first
time
question.
viewer, first
I
time
guess the
caller.
first question is really, obviously, introduce yourself. You know, what do you do? Tell us a bit about you.
The first question
the
is, do you
viewers.
like Nugget Men?
Do you like Nugget Man? That's probably in the first question.
As in men that are nuggets and nuggets shaped like men? Because the answer is yes.
No,
Right,
there we
okay.
go.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, fuck turkey dinosaurs, we'll have turkey men instead.
Exactly.
But no, give us a bit about yourself, Nick. Like, what do you do?
Yeah,
what's,
no,
what's your story?
So I'm Cornish born and bred myself. As far as I'm concerned, you're all northern invaders, and
Apart
therefore
from me.
you are the enemy.
Sorry. not northern.
Well, I don't know. How far south is south in your world? Because anything north of the Tamar in England is my north, mate. You know, even if you're Devonshire, you're still a northern invader.
Yeah, fair
Oh,
enough.
So,
that's true.
You know,
Yeah.
I used to think Plymouth was north. So
Fuck off.
no, I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious.
I mean, Cornwall
my
wants to
hometown
become
where
its
I-
own country anyway, let's be honest.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Anywhere
I'm-
above
I'm-
Cornwall North, is it?
I stand with the Cornish Independence Front, mate. We're going to be like the next IRA. It's going to be terrible.
Right, okay.
But no, I think we should.
Rocking up in your tractors.
You know, the
You're
bank
gonna-
of the Tamar.
You're going to become the CRA, the Cornwall Republican Army, but then add a P
Yeah.
for crap.
Yeah, no, exactly. Cornwall's Republican Army of People. Yeah. But, yeah,
Cornwall's Republic
born-
Army of
bred.
P.
And
Oh.
now I have the swift pleasure of working with both of you boys at some point in our careers with, for the government. Oh,
Nice. And what a fun job it is, eh?
Yeah,
don't we
yeah.
love it, honestly.
So
We
I
need a
suppose.
new rhyme now, though. Now that our monarch's passed, don't we? We can't be living the dream serving the Queen, can we?
No, it's the
The king, isn't it?
The RAF. RAF, see the person, not the disability, is what we go with.
Yeah. Oh boy, howdy, can you see some?
I suppose
Reaper.
that'll lead me on to my first question then. In terms of like the military and background and whatever, have you got any stories without jeopardizing yourself or name dropping anybody? Have you got any stories where you think, fuck me, what kind of people are they allowing into this workplace?
All right. Well, I've got some smaller ones. I can talk about my own personal story, but I don't know if that is perhaps not a story we should be putting out on your podcast.
Nah,
Um,
go for it, bro. Go for it.
But,
We said some absurd things.
Without naming dropping anybody, I'm sure the bigger Tinny will know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Mhm.
There's a certain character that we work with who has himself the mechanical trade. He looks somewhere cross between an Auschwitz survivor, I don't know, somebody on their on stage 4 of chemotherapy. Like, you know, he's a rough looking geezer, and he'd just finished all of his training. You know, learning about all the mechanical parts of the aircraft,
Yeah.
what everything does, where everything goes, everything he needs to fix pretty much everything on that jet that is under his remit. And we managed to convince him that the big radio antenna that is obviously not connected to anything but the fuselage, and all it is a, like I say, an antenna like on your car for your radio. We managed to convince him that that is how you control the rudder, despite the fact that it's not connected to the cockpit where you would put in the controls for the rudder, or connected to the rudder. So yeah, there's some special breeds.
it's a full-blown
Special breed.
retard.
This is This is the same guy, by the way, where I think I've mentioned the story before on the podcast where I was in the tractor with him going to go get some equipment from GSC.
Oh yeah. I remember
And he
story.
was talking about his weekend and how he'd met this girl he hasn't seen for ages, and says she hasn't aged a day. He still fancies her now as he did back then, and he met her when she was 8.
Oh,
It's like, bro,
no.
so you're admitting she looks like she's 8 and you still fancy her? What's going on here? Man, he's like 20, 22, 23.
Serious Jimmy
Yeah,
Savile vibes.
About.
Jesus Christ.
He stands firm, Tinny, that he is one of the smarter of his friend group outside of work.
That scares me.
It's just a group of functional retards, brother.
That is very scary.
That scares me. So anyways, right, so we've brought you on this podcast because everyone that we bring onto the podcast has to have something interesting about them or something that they do that not a lot of people do. Now, obviously, before talking to you, or before getting you on, sorry, should I say, we spoke to you and you mentioned that you do a bit of arts.
Yeah, a little bit of drawing, a little bit of painting.
How long would you say you've been doing this for? And I suppose to the other guys above me or to my left and whatever, have you guys got any of the photos that he submitted to show to everybody to what we're on about?
Hang on, are these my drawings? Are these the?
So these are your drawings. So yeah.
These are your drawings.
We are going to
Yeah,
showcase
no,
a few of these drawings, guys.
See if I
Yeah,
have
no, it's something I've been doing since I was about 8, so 16 odd years now.
Has it just sort of like been a hobby of yours? It's just sort of like on a day to day, like you just sort of.
Yeah. So I've never tried to make a professional go at it. I was actually told very early on in this sort of hobby. You know how everyone has that high school art class that they never really pay attention in.
Yeah.
I remember I flat got told by my art teacher at the time that I was not good enough and will never amount to anything. So I never tried to pursue it as a career after that, and I just thought, sod it. So it definitely is a hobby, not something I do professionally. But I mean, I'm the sort of person that I do not sleep at night very regularly. I'm comfortable on 5 to 6 hours sleep, sometimes less. So I mean, it's not like I sleep during the day either, though. I just don't need that much sleep. But obviously, when I was younger, I needed a hobby that was something I could do for hours on end and quiet enough that I wouldn't wake up anybody else in my house.
Yeah.
So I started doodling. Yeah, and it was that. It was just
I mean,
pencil and paper.
There's a difference between doodling and then some of the artwork that you've shown me.
I was going to say, yeah, because we've had a look through some of your artwork, and it's actually like pretty fucking good. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, thanks, boys, but I refuse for ages to even call them artworks because they're just doodles. They're like stuff I will do at 3 a.m. when I can't sleep, absent-mindedly.
Are you kidding me? I'm pretty certain one of them is Keanu Reeves, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah,
but
so
that looks fucking
that
sick.
In Cyberpunk, yeah.
No.
Right.
I think Chef is trying to get him up at the minute.
Yeah,
I was going to say we need. He's
Not
always
an
struggles getting it up. That's the issue.
Yeah, of course.
So Nick,
You got
with
little
your,
skills for that now, brother.
with your artwork, then, can you remember the very first piece you did, and like what did you do with it at the time?
I actually can, yeah. So I used to have I used to have thousands of little notebooks that I just, like I say, just a fucking HB pencil and I'd doodle away. And this is obviously when I was much younger.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty certain my blessed sweet mother has saved every single one of those little notebooks, and they're out there somewhere. Yeah. So there's thousands.
They'll be famous one day. Is that what you're saying? They'll be like worth millions.
Oh no, definitely not, Christ. Like I say, I don't. I mean, this will be the first time I've ever shown anybody that wasn't just one of my mates over a conversation in a smoking area. Like, you know.
I hope to God when you say you have a load of little notebooks that it's like super bad and you just sat there drawing tons of dicks.
Yeah, there's probably a dick or two in there, to be honest.
Little fat ones, veiny ones.
Yeah, you'll see the transition as I like go through, sort of childhood into teenage years, because it'll be like robot, dinosaur, penis, robot, dinosaur, definitely a penis.
Oh God.
Right,
Classic
cool on
comedy
Chef.
cock.
I'm trying to sort
we're
it
getting
out.
we're getting these photos on.
Yes.
Also, I've got another question about the artwork. So, like, if you was to start, let's say, a fresh canvas today, like, how long would you roughly on, like, if you was to do your best drawing yet, how long roughly would it take you to finish, like, from start to finish? Like, what sort is, because, like, obviously, not a lot of people do artwork and stuff to, like, the level you're at. So, like, obviously, if people wanted to get into it, how long are they looking at, like, if they wanted to do a decent piece?
Right. I should have it set up.
So, obviously, I don't want to like come off pretentious here because I really don't know anything about it.
That's the whole reason you're on the podcast,
mate. Yeah. You don't have to lie to the guys.
Obviously, there's different styles of artwork. So the sort of style that I'm trying to pursue is very sort of comic book style, and with like Ben-Day beads and stuff like that to give different monochromatic ways of showing depth, which is in itself a challenge, but it's not necessarily hard to do, if that makes sense. So if you're trying to shade somebody's face, for example, and you're trying to put light on one side, dark on the other, obviously if you're just using two tones for that, that's quicker and easier to do.
Okay.
But because I've never done it before, I have to really think about where I'm putting my lines and where I do this shading to not make it just one solid block
Right, the
of colour.
pictures are now on stream.
So
I was just about to say. I was just about to say something.
Sorry.
No, I was going to say, for anyone that's watching on the Instagram or the YouTube, if you was to head over to Twitch at Cut Meat Podcast, the photos that we have had submitted from Nick are currently cycling through for you to see, and some of them are fucking phenomenal.
I mean, that Keanu Reeves one, that is fucking amazing. Even that hand, how do you draw a hand like that? Mine's like a little stick arm with like 4 fingers coming out. That's about as good as I can do.
Well, actually, drawing hands was the first sort of like human body part that I got really good at drawing.
Other than dicks.
Other than dicks, yeah, of course, yeah. I could draw a mean dick. But,
Jesus
Christ. Human hands was what my subject was, because, like I say, back in school when I got told that's it, you'll never amount to nothing, it was because of a piece of artwork I'd drawn that was a hand, and I'd spent ages shading it. It was all in charcoal, and it was a hand holding a quill, and it just finished writing in calligraphy. I fucking hate my art teacher, and I got flat, ungraded on it, and just kicked out of the class for it. You're never going anywhere. Well.
You got ungraded.
Yeah, ungraded.
I got a higher grade in Spanish, and I couldn't speak it. I got an E for Espanol.
See, there you go. You're a better Spaniard than I am an artist.
So, Chef, could you do me a quick favour, mate? Could you put the Twitch podcast back to us, because I just want to hold something up to my camera. So, obviously, everyone's had a good look now at some of the artwork that he's done, and I think we can all agree that they are fucking sick, and it'd be sick to be able to have that skill. So, my question is to you, mate. When I asked for a logo for this podcast, why was this presented to me?
Well,
right, he can draw what you've just seen, and then I could have made that on clip art.
And this from clip art.
Okay, listen, brother, listen.
Here we go.
Let me explain.
Here we go.
I'll be completely brutally honest with you. You asked me to do something for you. I said I'd do it. I entirely forgot until the day that you asked me if I'd done it. I lied and said, yeah, sure, brother. Remembered what you were talking about. Couldn't even remember if it was actually the Cook Meat podcast or if I was misremembering that, and knocked those together in about 10 minutes flat.
That's what I did with our current logo.
Was it on Paint 3D, clip art, Word?
Procreate is the Apple software off your iPads and stuff like that. That's what I use for most of my digital art. But,
I was going to say,
10 minutes.
I was saying to the boys, I was like, hey, I've found a guy who said he's willing to do a logo for us. Some of his artwork is fucking sick. I was like, we're going to have a sick logo. I've told him to include us 3 I was like, he's going to include us 3 cartoon eyes cooking at a grill, etc., and we get a little slab of
meat on fire.
In fairness, though, I will defend myself a little bit here. You gave me 0 direction. Now that you've actually said, all right, I want all 3 of us round like a grill, and you showed me that example,
No.
Like that. But you never give me direction before that.
Right. I'm gonna call you out for bullshit
Okay,
right there
here we
then,
go.
because let me just find you the photo that I originally showed you, mate. Because this is what we was. Yeah, I am full on. I'm about to expose you, mate, for being a fucking liar.
What photo did you originally show me?
I turned around and said that your boy Chef used to have a logo, and it looked identical to this, right? And I said, I want something like that, but with all three of us there. And you went, yes, I'll make Skinny Tinny look like the torpedo bullet, and I'll make you into Dorito Triangle.
No. Those are definitely two different conversations. Because I remember talking about the character designs, and I said I'd make you little emoji characters or some shit like that for your chats and stuff. That was different. I volunteered that. I don't remember seeing that photo, so I think you're gaslighting me again.
So how can you remember said conversation if it never happened without direction? Anyways, fairies, they never pay attention to anything anyways.
You know, at the end of the day, it's a free service because I'm not a professional, and you're still whinging about it, which is nuts. Imagine getting something done.
I offered 20 quid.
I was going to say, you even offered to
You
pay.
haven't paid me 20 quid.
I'm not paying for clip art.
Obviously not. It's not even finished clip art.
Anyways, guys, moving on. So we've gone a bit over your art, and obviously, you know, all the people in chat have seen your art now. We'll show them once again at the end before you go.
Yeah.
But obviously, you've got some other stuff that you've told us. So you said that you're into a bit of like ancient Greek history. Is that correct?
Well, to be honest, ancient Greek's probably just the strongest one I've got, but I'm into everything ancient history.
Quick, name a fact.
Yeah.
So I started on a story with Tinny, who then walked away from me and just ignored me for the rest of the day. So I'll finish that story if you like. But he will have forgotten because he's a gaslighter. But particularly for yourself, Chef, because I heard you're into this sort of stuff as well.
Yeah, I'm big into it.
Any of you or anybody in your chat or anybody like that heard about a really old ancient Greek philosopher called Diogenes, specifically really Diogenes the Cynic. You ever heard of Diogenes? Chef's
right. The fact that Joe's sat scratching his chin, and Chef's just nodding.
This question.
So
Diogenes question.
Carry on.
Diogenes the Cynic is supposed to be the father of pessimism. You know how fucking Plato was the father of forward thinking or something, and Aristotle was the father of mathematics. Diogenes was the father of just being a grumpy dickhead, and I love him for it. And he didn't give a shit about anything during his time or anybody else's time. And I think we should all be more like Diogenes. He just he basically just wandered about fully naked,
full-on ancient Greek roadman.
Yeah, he'd wear his robes, and then if they just rotted off his body or fell off, he'd just keep walking because he didn't care. He'd just wander through the market naked. He lived in a barrel with a bunch of dogs, and he was around the same time that Plato was around. So Plato, obviously, trying to give speeches and teach philosophy and stuff like that. And Diogenes would just come in and start screaming at the top of his lungs or take a shit on his desk just to disrupt him, just because he didn't care.
I'm just going to pause you there.
Just because you can do it.
We've had a question not a question, a statement in chat saying history is Chef's domain. So, because I don't know if you've watched any episodes, Nick, we do have a history corner.
I've watched some, yeah.
And we're gonna have a little bit of a history nerd off right now. So it's just gonna be one fact from the best here, from both of you. Whoever can give, I'd say the funniest fact, Josh, should we say?
I think the most obscure fact.
The most obscure. We'll have all the viewers vote on it, and the loser will get waterboarded.
I didn't know this was the CIA.
This is the CRA.
CRA. It's the CMP.
So we'll start with a guest. So, the most obscure history fact off the top of your head.
All right, off the top of my head. Here's one actually I just learned this week. Somebody pointed out to me, because it blew my mind, it might blow yours, who knows. not a big mind to blow, is it? Somebody pointed out to me that Victorian England, what we classify as Victorian England, was from the end of the 1800s, I don't know the exact date, to 1912. And then the end of the sunset of the cowboys was 1819, roughly. And then the end of the Edo period the Meiji Restoration in Japan was only 50 years prior. And piracy in all the French colonies, in a lot of Caribbean French colonies, was still ongoing. So the concept of a story that somebody could write about a English gentleman, a Victorian gentleman, a French pirate, an old samurai, and a very old cowboy is entirely plausible, because all those things actually did occur within sort of 5 years of each other. And it's entirely possible that them four could have met.
An old Japanese cowboy. Who else was what? What else could he have been?
So it would have been a French pirate, a Japanese samurai,
a French-Japanese pirate samurai,
a French-Japanese pirate samurai, and an English-American cowboy who met Queen Victoria,
who was black.
Who was black? Yeah, you could theoretically have a cowboy, samurai, pirate, gentleman who was black with Asian eyes around Queen Victoria in the Caribbean.
That's a pretty obscure fact,
it's
guys.
Theoretically possible. I don't know if anybody existed that was like that, but they could have.
We have to do some research on that for season 2, I think.
I mean,
the episodes of Black Chinese Samurai Pirate Man.
I mean, that took you about 20 minutes to explain. Someone in the chat just put, ducks have corkscrew penises due to gang rape.
That's not a history fact.
That's hey.
Pigs have corkscrew penises as well, and they have corkscrew vaginas, and they have to screw together.
Hey.
If you wanted just weird facts, I could have gone there.
There we go.
Right. We'll move
on
on to Chef just for one quick fact.
So I have a quick ancient history fact for you. So everyone knows the Romans. Men think about it, once a week, at least once a week. Everyone thinks about the Romans and the Roman Empire. But did you guys know that the Romans used to use their own piss as mouthwash back in the day? And the reason why is because obviously your piss contains ammonia, and which is one of the best, natural cleaning agents on the planet. So when you call someone piss breath, just think of the Romans.
It works for Bear Grylls, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Well,
yeah, but he gets lost in the woods after 30 seconds and goes, right, let's drink my own piss.
Hi guys, it's Bear Grylls. I'm here to drink my own piss.
It just proves that after a long years of service, your career can move on to the next big thing, and honestly, it gives me hope.
Speaking of the next big thing after the career, a little birdie's told me, by a little bird I mean yourself, that you want to work in Canada.
Yeah, man.
So tell us a bit about that, actually, because that's actually
why.
It's the big dream. It's the big dream, to be honest.
What is the job?
Hate this country, but and I don't want to die here.
Yeah.
I've been here 24 years. I don't want to die here. But
I mean, the UK government has fucked the country, so.
Yeah, exactly. The job is electrical engineering out in Canada. They are absolutely dying for electrical engineers at the moment. And I just sort of got interested at one point and filled out an immigration form just to be nosy, because there's thousands of ways that you can immigrate. Obviously, if you've got family, if you're marrying somebody out there, and then they want to know, have you fingered a child? Are you a murderer? Because then they won't let you in.
You can immigrate by rib boat. Most people do that nowadays.
I was going to say, into the UK though.
Yeah.
I don't think you can rib across the fucking Atlantic.
Or are you floating over on a punctured lilo? You know what I mean?
Maybe you hit an iceberg.
Filled it out, and they said, I got a phone call 22 hours later saying, if you want, we can put you into a job within 3 months. Get you citizenship.
Jesus Christ!
Because obviously you're an electrical engineer in the military.
I am an electrical engineer by trade.
Obviously, this Canada job is it still on aircraft, or is it something completely different?
No, totally off, mate. It's all green energy. So they're building solar farms, wind farms, and geothermal plants and hydroelectric dams in some provinces. But it's around all the five major cities.
That is like the future. green energy, so
Yeah,
it's a future-proof job.
Yeah. So they're trying to get into it, and obviously they have a deadline. I think I might be misquoting here, but it was either 2065 or 2075. They want to conclude this massive green push, and so they were dead interested in electrical engineers because obviously they need somebody to build all these things that they want and maintain them and service them, and then obviously after that keep them running.
So you would rather go to Canada and work there instead of working at Greenpeace HQ in Watford 5 years down the line? Is that what you're telling me?
God.
Well, yeah. Have you ever seen British Columbia, and have you ever seen Watford?
Yeah, I mean, there's a big difference.
That's like asking, would you like to go with Margot Robbie, or do you want to take home that one-eyed troll in the corner? Like, what the fuck?
Susan Boyle.
Which one's a better story? Which one's a better story for the boys?
Margot Robbie, come on, man.
Is it funnier though than the one-eyed troll?
Yeah.
No one would believe you, mate. No one would believe you.
Yeah.
Every single one of us in this call has got 4 one-eyed troll stories, right? None of us has got a Margot Robbie story. That would make it better.
Yeah, because no one believes them.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when I go off to Canada,
everyone says bullshit.
Margot Robbie chilling in some British Columbia.
So when are you thinking of going to Canada then?
Well, next year, to be honest, my contract's up.
So next year, that would be at least season 5. So season 5 special guest, we will have Nick and Margot Robbie on the special guest.
On the podcast.
Stay tuned in till season 5.
I'll send her a text.
Josh, you've been mentioned in chat by the retard 19 saying that you're a troll.
Oh my god.
I'm the troller, man.
Yeah, you're a troll.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think you'd make a lovely troll, pal.
So, Nick, we've still got a bit of time.
I would.
And obviously, we've gone over your art. We've gone over that you're a nerd in history, because, like, you know, whatever. And you're a nerd in fucking engineering and green shit, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, is there any like other like hobbies that you like? You mentioned that you liked a bit about motorcycles. You know,
man.
Or is that like anything interesting? Any good stories you can tell us about motorcycles or anything? Have you been run over by one? Have you run over a child on one? You know, it's just interesting stuff that people want to know, but like people don't know.
Have you that bell end?
Yeah, I got some bad ones. I am that bell end. 100%,
oh god,
yeah.
Share with the story.
Yeah, my stepdad's a big biker, so he got me into biking. But I grew up off road before I could obviously legally ride on road. Everything I did was all motocross, dirt bike, stuff like that. And actually, the worst injury I ever had was on a little dirt bike when I was only 16. I think it was only a sort of 250cc dirt bike, which ain't massive, but it's enough. And I was doing this circuit over and over and over again, getting really good at it. And one part of this circuit,
clearly not
big ramp in, flat plateau, and big ramp out. And I thought, right, I'll give it the beans, and I went for it. And as I went up that ramp, I panicked and I broke rule number 1, which was I let go of the bike. So I went up, bike went up further. I came down face first into the dirt, and obviously stunned myself, but I was all right. I was wearing all gear, as you should if you're doing that sort of stuff. You know, I was fully clad in armor, but I was like, I'm all right. As I started to get up from the floor, bike comes down and just crunch right on the sort of small of my back, and I actually fractured my vertebrae.
Was it instant smash breakfast? Like,
yeah, just like like a bag of crisps full of blood, just crunch spurt. It was disgusting.
Nice.
Yeah. Fractured my spine in 3 places, 3 little vertebrae cracks, and it was rough, man. They were a little bit.
You were a nugget.
You
I
for a
was
bit.
a nugget, yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, no, it's Stephen Hawking for a couple of weeks.
Ah.
All of this up here still
In the
works.
wheelchair.
How was Epstein Island?
How much to go to the island?
I actually do have a story very similar to that one. So I had a mate of mine, right, and I'll address him by his nickname. He was nicknamed Kirky. And I used to do motocrossing as well back when I was like 11 or 12. And I had a birthday party at a place called Immingham Motorcycle Project, which is like just north of Lincoln. And very similar to yours. There was a tabletop, big ramp, flat, big ramp down, and then immediately after that was this massive wall of like an incline turn, so you could go up the wall and down it and come back on yourself like a big 180. Well, my mate went over the tabletop at full speed, cleared it all, and then instead of letting go of the handlebars, he panicked and left it on full throttle. and then went around this corner, but didn't go around. Just went up. He then proceeded to go about 6 or 7 feet in the air and fall on the floor first before the bike. And then as the bike landed, the foot peg, you can't make this shit up. It fell right behind him, grabbed his pants and kegged him. Genuinely, it was like.
Yeah, man. Footpegs and brake leads are the worst
Bike rape.
Crash, brother. I knew a bloke who put a foot peg right through one of his cheeks. I have no idea how.
Well, like full on, in.
Yeah, through. He's got a scarf and he's got photos of this hole in his right cheek from. I think it was
nice.
foot peg. Passenger, not passenger. Main foot peg just went straight through his cheeks somehow.
Ouch.
But yeah, so I busted my spine. I mean, I fell off a lot more afterwards and a lot more before, but that was definitely my big one. But I obviously had to go to the hospital for all of that, and they looked in and scanned all my spine and did all the funny mojo that they do, and then they discovered that I've got something pressing on a nerve that means I have no concept of temperature change whatsoever. So now, as far as I'm concerned, I had a motorcycle crash and now I've got superpowers, brother.
Do you know what? I
so
can
that's you like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah. You can actually
had a crash.
So I didn't believe this. So he got both his hands and turned both the hot and cold tap on, and then just put his hands under and went, I can't tell you which one's burning. I can just feel both hands stinging.
Yeah,
you are.
Yeah, bro.
He can't feel heat or cold. It's just like so. It just stings essentially for him.
The best way to describe it is if you held a lighter to one of my hands and put an ice cube in the other, I'll close my eyes. I wouldn't know which is which until one melted.
Could you not? Yeah, but could you not?
He can't feel the fire. He can just feel. He can feel the stinging sensation of it.
The pain. Yeah, you can feel the pain. You just can't feel the heat.
You can't feel the cold and you can't feel the heat.
No, you know when you go outside and it's freezing cold and your fingers go red, you don't even fucking notice until he looks at his fingers and go, oh fuck, they're red. It's a bit cold, isn't it?
Yeah. When my lips start going blue, I know I should put a coat on. In all seriousness, I have to look at other people to know when to get dressed or dressed down for the weather.
Fucking hell. So you can just walk outside butt naked in the snow and be like...
Yeah, 100%.
Not feel the heat, but just feel the sting from the actual snow on you. Because you know, like, when it goes cold, it starts to sting and go numb.
Does a snow angel.
But it messes up your entire internals. I'm sure there's other people out there that deal with the same things, because obviously they introduced me to all these fucking groups when they were like, he's never going to walk again. But apparently it can really mess you up. But it means I can like shiver in full summer, or get like sweaty in the freezing cold without moving, because my body just has no idea what temperature it's supposed to be.
That's mad.
I guess you save money on like heating bills though. If you get your own house, that'll be alright, won't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just genuinely don't notice.
Take a cold bath. Fuck it, you don't matter.
Yeah, showers are weird. Doesn't matter. Hot shower, cold shower.
Just liquid at the end of the day.
Here's the weird one though. Here's the weird one. I still can't stand like cold tea, for example, or cold coffee. It does taste different. I am the confirming factor. There is a difference between
so you can
hot
taste
coffee,
hot
cold
drinks.
Coffee. No, I mean, if you give me hot water or cold water, I wouldn't know. But coffee and tea and things like that is different, whether it's hot or cold. And people say it's not. They're fucking bullshit.
You don't get the burn sensation, Joe. He don't feel burn. He just feels.
What happens if you ate spicy food?
That's different.
Well, I mean, if I chew capsaicin, it stings.
Yeah.
If you put like a Scotch bonnet, I'll put a Scotch bonnet on my nose and that fucking hurt. But that still hurts. But I don't know. Is that what warm feels like to you? You step out in the sun and it's like chewing chilies. Like it's like imagine trying to describe color to a blind person. It just doesn't work. You're never going to get me to understand. I'm never quite going to get you to understand. But yeah, try describing the feeling of warm without using words like warm or hot.
It's like
it's impossible.
Not cold.
Yeah, great.
It's like not cold.
Oh yeah.
What does warm feel like?
Not cold.
Brilliant.
Well, there you go, guys.
Superpowers, bro.
Superpowers. If you want superpowers, just go
Break
back
your
and
back.
crash.
Yeah, just go
Back.
play.
Absolutely fuck your back.
Just go
So,
crash
a
your
question
car.
then. Did,
Yeah.
After having that crash, did that ever put you off motorbikes, or was you like as soon as you was declared fit to go, was you straight back on them?
Yeah, straight away.
What the fuck,
Yeah,
man?
yeah. Every single
I'm
time
very
you have a
fit.
motorcycle accident, I like. Don't get me wrong. I have full respect to anybody that has one and decides that's it, they're done. But if you have one and you're umming and ahhing about it, get on it. Just get the fuck back on the bike, because otherwise you might not ever. And then that is something that you really enjoy that's just gone. You know what I mean? Every single time I've had a bad one, you know, provided it hasn't straight up taken me out of the game for a little bit, my stepdad's thrown me straight back into the saddle and gone, "Fucking get on with it, kiddo, because otherwise you might not again."
So,
You
do
can't be
you
afraid of
do you
it.
currently own a bike now? Then I'm guessing.
I do, yeah.
So what bike
Yeah,
have you got now?
I did have until very recently. I had a Kawasaki Z800, which I've just ditched, and I've bought myself a Honda Rebel now 500, very laid back cruiser, which is very comfortable. I've never had anything that's, well, I say the very laid back cruiser. Anybody that knows bikes is gonna know it's not really.
I was gonna say I'm gonna react like I know it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice. That one.
Joe, do you do the same to your dad?
Yeah, as soon as he starts talking, just like
Yeah.
Speaking of which, would you ever join like a motorcycle gang, or has that never been an interest?
1000%.
Would you actually?
1000% I would. Oh, absolutely.
Would that conflict with the line of work, or like have you looked into it that much to know if like?
I don't think it would.
No.
Let's say you joined, I don't know, like the notorious ones, like fucking, you know, like Sons of Anarchy, the ones that in America that fucking run guns and do cocaine. Surely that would stop you working in your line of work.
That'll probably take us out of. Yeah, I mean, you might as well just like that's. Yeah, it's not the biker gang though, is it? It's the drug dealing and the arms running.
Yeah.
No, that's
So
the problem.
We've had
Riding
a
a
question
bike
in
with
chat,
a bunch
Nick.
of other
Yeah,
guys that like riding bikes ain't a problem, is it?
we have had a question in chat. What's your opinion on Harley Davidsons?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now,
That's not good, guys. That's not good.
it's very polarizing. See,
Would you not ever have one?
seems like. See, I would personally.
Oh.
I think they're pretty cool. I think they've made some right stinkers. They've got that weird little electric thing, which is stupid. It's
Yeah.
not the way it should be done. And
Not a
I
bike.
fully understand that there is, if you really want to ride your bike or look at your bike or have a well-made machine, any of these things, don't buy a Harley because it's not. But if you want that weird little piece of American dream, then yeah, it has to be a Harley, doesn't it? Because if you want a fast cruiser, then you're looking at an Indian or a Triumph. You know.
I was just about to say,
rocket.
what would be your opinions on an Indian then? Kind of like
Indian's perfect.
Yeah.
I love
Depends on the girl or guy, you know. If
it depends what you're ordering from
Yeah.
the menu.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
stink, then nah.
And then no.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, you could class electric bikes as they/them.
They're the hybrid cars, Mike, so I don't know which one they are. So
Yeah, exactly.
That comment you just made then reminds me of that little meme that I've seen on TV where it's like they get invited around to like Pakistani people that are inside the UK. And she goes, "Oh, it was actually quite nice, quite lovely. It didn't smell of Paki, which surprised me." And she's like, "Oh, I can't say that, can I? Live on TV."
I don't know if you can say that on stream, maybe.
It's quoting a TV show. It's quoting.
It's quoting, it's fine.
It's quoting a TV show. It's not my views, whether they're right or wrong. It's not my views. She was like,
they're right or wrong.
whether they're right or wrong, it's not my views, mate. It's everyone has an opinion.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
She was like one
Bring
of
back
these
free
fucking like
speech.
she was like the council estate like mothers that you just think, oh fucking
yeah.
hell, you're a shit state, you are.
Oh,
She was like,
God.
oh,
House and Island.
They're the
she
worst.
was like, "Oh, I was expecting it to smell of them." She was like, "But it didn't," and I was quite surprised.
What does them smell like?
Everyone, well, good question.
What does warm feel like, mate?
What does
I don't know.
Imagine trying to explain what they smell like without saying how they smell.
What does an Asian smell like? About it?
If you ever walked into an Indian restaurant, I would dare say they take the smell home from the restaurant with them. That's what I would say.
I mean, I think there's different.
I feel like I don't want to touch that.
Different smells though. Because a lot of those people like to burn incense sticks. You know, like have you ever been to like a market and those little sticks that they burn? That's all like you smell is incense sticks. Like it smells like random like smells.
It gets stuck in the pores. Yeah, I've seen Americans call them incest sticks before.
Only ones from Alabama.
South America as well.
Southern United States.
So anyways,
you got any incest?
I was going to say we have time for probably one more question then, but we're going to elaborate on it.
I've got one then.
Go on, Josh.
Hang on, before you ask your question, can I just ask how many people are viewing right now? Of interest. Do we have that number?
2.
So we've got 3 on the Instagram as we currently speak. However, we have had up to 9 at there. We've got, I think, 8 on Twitch.
11 on Switch.
Oh Lord!
Oh God. Oh no!
Somebody did this in my head.
No.
Get closer. Get closer.
Oh my God!
He's revealed.
Does someone literally?
Oh my God. Check the hard drive. Check the hard drive.
Hey, thank God I'm not.
What did the barber do? Take a fucking lawnmower to your head?
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's what I said. I went in and I said, "Listen, mate, can you put on this blindfold and then just attack me with some shears?" Bad, isn't it?
If nobody knows him, you look like Danny Aaron's, a guy who's nicknamed Posture.
Yeah, he does. Danny Aaron's. Oh no.
Just kind of sit there.
I went in for one thing and I came out with this. This is my life now.
I actually feel sorry for you, mate.
Cut my life into pieces.
Don't just sit there and pity me, because then I think it's really bad. That's the worst thing.
It's really bad.
It is bad. It is a stinker. It is a stinker.
It's like you've gone to Holton and you've asked for a haircut and you said spice up over then a buzz cut, and all they've done is just buzz cut it, but with different numbers.
Yeah, that's literally that's basically what he ended up having to do, because he obviously with his scissors tried to make a style out of it, and because all my hair's been trained to sit back with that Ragnar look for months now, as soon as he chopped it, it just stuck up straight because it's trying to sit back. So he just went.
I mean, that would probably look a little bit worse.
Leave it like this. You're gonna have to retrain your hair, otherwise I would have just had an afro out here like this. And he was like, I mean, I don't know what to do.
Can we just compare Nick's hairs to Joe's?
Start over.
My hair's terrible as well, to be fair. Like,
right. Take your hat off.
Comparing hairs, like.
I'd rather have yours than mine right now.
Well, you should have just left it. You should have just left it slightly longer, and then just put an hat on at work. Just wear your safety cap and just train it forward.
I could do curtains in my hair in a minute. It's that long.
Yeah,
don't. Oh God.
Can you actually do it?
I just did it.
Oh, I didn't see it.
He went straight on.
No, it's already on stream. You have to rewatch it. You have to rewatch it and then like and subscribe and comment.
God, I don't know if I can get a curtain. Hang on.
Oh God, that feels awful, man.
I really can't. My hair just when my hair gets long, it just sticks up.
No, so there you go.
Jesus.
Sorry, you did have a question. We are rapidly running out of time. I don't want to take.
Yeah.
Let's go on, Josh.
So my question is, you've had fucking motorbike crashes, right, and nearly died. You want to join a motorcycle club because you think you're hard as fuck. Have you been hard as fuck your entire life? Like, was you in fights at school and shit like that, selling drugs and stuff, smoking out the back gate in secrecy at breaks? Like,
everyone smokes out the back gate in secrecy, don't
Year 8
no,
smoker.
I
Candy sticks.
I was a proper year 8 smoker.
Jesus.
God, I hope my parents never watched this. I was never.
Someone find him.
I never said that. I never been out as fuck. I was just an idiot. I mean, I got into plenty of fights. I got into plenty of scrapes and bumps and bruises, but I was never like, that guy. I'm still not that guy. I'm just an idiot. I just don't know when I should back down or walk away.
Did you ever get expelled?
Nah, I never got expelled actually, which is miraculous to be honest. Because I had an ambulance called to my high school 3 times just for little old me. Yeah, I said I was in fights. I didn't say I won them.
I think the highest thing I got.
Because the kids were bullying you because of your haircut.
I mean, they were going to expel him because he was bringing down the strength of the school. We were making him look shit.
Yeah.
I think the worst thing I got at school was I got a detention. I got a detention
Chefy Roadman.
with the deputy head teacher. Like, you literally sat in the room with just you and him. And the reason why I did it is it snowed and basically it turned to ice. And they basically just said to all the kids, "Oh, don't throw the ice around. You can't do that. You should do that."
Yeah.
So me and my mates were just like picking up ice, just chucking at each other. And I literally just got one. I compacted it so much. I chucked at this one kid, hit him in the eye, and just gave him like a full-on black eye. And then it was like the deputy head teacher literally walked out the door and saw us, and he said, "You in my office now." I was like, "Fuck." I was like,
naughty boy.
It wasn't like that.
I've got one story slightly weirder than that. I managed to get into a detention for somebody attacking me.
Oh yeah, that's the worst.
Every year there's that year 7 in high school who thinks they're hard as nails and wants to beat up like a year 10 or a year 11 to prove they're tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was this one kid. I remember he was on the bus ride that we took back home, me and a mate of mine, and he was the entire ride over to the school. He was trying to start shit and stuff like that, and obviously we just ignored him because he's fucking 4 foot tall. And I think one of his mates must have dared him or something, but he came right up behind me, kidney punched me in my right hand side. And as he did that, obviously, as he connected, suddenly realised that pocket is where I was keeping my phone. So he just broke all of his knuckles, smacking into my phone. And I felt really bad, so I took him to the nurse with his, busted up hand that he's obviously bawling his eyes out. And she put me in detention for it because she thought I'd abused this little kid. He hit me. He just hit me in the worst possible. He hit me in the only solid part of my jacket.
Did you not have a busted phone to prove it?
No, because I had a big Nokia brick at the time.
Oh god! Yeah. I mean, no wonder he broke his fingers.
Oh yeah. Apparently, he fractured 2 of his knuckles. They're all black and bruised, but yeah.
So I was just going to say, if you ever feel useless, just remember, someone used to make phone cases for the Nokia brick to keep it safe.
Yeah.
Just remember that.
That is a way to just try and start
That's just.
You're getting fired, innit? So it's like, well, how can I keep my job?
They were protecting the environment from the brick.
That's like the MOD police nowadays. They just do nothing.
We'll
just walk some dogs around the camp.
That's just like grabbing a World War II tank and then just bolting tank tracks onto it. Yep, here's more protection.
No, you can't slander MOD police, mate. They treat you kindly and fairly, and they make you safe.
They made me
safe. They don't.
I would never speak out against our oppressors. I mean, liberated.
There's a guy behind the camera with a gun to his head,
just literally off to the corner, mate.
Right, I'll tell you what then. Before we wrap this up,
yep.
I just want to quickly bring it back to the art again for anyone that's now joined in and has missed. If you was to ever create like an Instagram account or a Pinterest account or anything like that, what? If you've even thought about it, what name would you go under for your art specifically?
To be honest, I'd probably put it under the same thing I put everything under. It'd be Kinwin Nick, so KINWINNICK. or some variation thereof. Yeah, if I ever bother to really show it off, yeah, people will find me on that one.
And
Not
how
CRA artwork or anything like that.
and
Yeah,
Cornwall Republican artwork.
Yeah.
And how much realistically would you charge for, let's say, like in the slideshow that's currently on?
Yeah.
How much would you charge for, like, if someone wanted like the Keanu Reeves styled photo? How much would you charge for that?
That's it. To be fair, I mean, I've done pieces for people before that paid for it. I've designed tattoos and things like that, and I've always charged just based off time. So for like the simpler ones, I've done them in 5 hours. But the Keanu Reeves one, that was about 80 hours of work. So
yeah,
I'd charge for an hourly rate if I ever wanted to charge somebody that badly. But yeah, no, I'm not. Like I say, I'm not a pro.
The thing is, you get what you pay for. Though, if you're getting something as quality as that, you know what I mean.
If you're paying for quality, you're paying for quality.
Yeah.
How much does 10 minutes on 2 logos cost?
Yeah.
You will get your goddamn logos, and then
no. Jesus Christ.
I'm going to write you a contract now for my art services. I'm going to start an art business exclusively to charge you for the nonsense I'm going to give you.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
It's going to be the pettiest lawsuit of your life.
Right, we have had one more question from the chat. They have asked, if you don't mind, tell your most embarrassing story that you can think of. Whether it's about yourself or a best friend, just something that... You don't even have to say it's you just have to say a mate, and we'll just take it as a mate instead of yourself. Just your most embarrassing story.
No matter what
you think
saying, I'm just going to think it's him.
100%. Yeah, 100%. He could name drop and give his address, I'm still going to think it's you.
Are you sure it's your friend?
Somebody straight up snipe me.
Darren.
Embarrassing stories. Embarrassing stories. Oh, okay, right. All right then. I've got one. I will not mention where, when, or who this was done with, but this is me. This was because I want to run the risk of anybody knowing of even you people. This was on board a boat at the time, where we obviously didn't have any phone signal. We didn't have TV or anything like that. We were very, very bored, and we got very, very drunk, all of us at one point, and there was about 40 of us all at this, like in one room, packed in.
I don't feel like soggy biscuits coming.
And no, Jesus Christ.
Thank God.
But somebody on board this boat, obviously trying to do me a favour, spread the rumour that I've got that I'm packing heat, all right? That I've got some fucking 10-inch fucking monster in my trousers.
Dong, yeah.
And
nicknamed it Dusty.
My Magnum dong.
Dusty. And obviously I was only 18 at the time, so not the most confident about that. And it culminated in when, like I say, we all got drunk. I actually got physically chased and pinned down by about 6 of my superiors, which I'm convinced could end a career if ever I brought that one to light, who forcibly removed my clothes to expose my penis, and then were thoroughly disappointed. But that's not necessarily the embarrassing bit. The embarrassing bit is that we'd been out on this boat for a long old time, and I quickly realised that at some point during this night I'm going to have to get my dick out. So I quietly went into the showers whilst no one was paying any attention and had a quick shave up, because I was like, this is disgusting. I need to fucking get rid of all this. Otherwise,
question: did you put your dick in under the warm water, but forget it was the warm because you can't feel it, and it was cold? So it was small.
Why ain't it working? That's entirely possible. Because when they ripped down my trousers, it was like a fucking press stunt, mate. It was not impressive.
It was like a scared turtle.
Right. It was like last turkey in the shop, bro. It weren't that great.
Die.
We should have left it a mystery, but yeah, no. I could definitely end a good dozen careers, and probably my own.
Well, I hate to admit it to you, mate, but we ended up in double digit viewers listening to that entire story, so there are quite a few people that now know.
Well,
Probably gonna do fine.
he's pulling his cock out.
If you want to know who he is, we'll leave his home details and his security code in the Discord and in the chat below. So if you do want to find him, you can.
You have been asked, by the way, one more question. And you have had these questions before. Cheese or motorway? Colby.
Oh fuck!
Before we go,
Cheese or motorway, Colby.
sounds like a motorway. To be honest. That's what I guess.
That's cheese.
Oh, well, chef's confident with that. I think I'm wrong. But,
He's a chef. He's got to be right.
yeah, he's got to be.
Probably not.
Take your time, bro.
I got like 2 points.
Don't Google it either.
It has to be. It has to be a cheese.
It is a cheese, indeed.
Okay.
Well, anyways, Nick, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. And obviously, we've seen your artwork. I mean, if anyone not in chat didn't see it, just rewind a bit and you will see it.
Just put my home phone number in chat.
Yeah, we'll put your
Anyway.
details. You know, your
Yeah,
card number, your security code on there,
Honestly.
and everything in there. That's all in there.
Well,
No.
Anybody that wants to take my details.
No, but if anyone actually is interested, like in getting some artwork, I don't think you don't have any page to do it. Just message one of us through the Discord or through Twitch, wherever it is, and we'll pass the message on. Absolutely.
We'll probably do a shout out in the Discord as well.
Make an Instagram and we just promote the Instagram.
100%, man.
Yeah, Sam.
But Nick, before you go, have you got a last goodbye message or an outro or anything that you'd like to do to the people watching?
I mean, if you could tell, I ain't a streamer, but no, this has been fun. I hope to return at some point.
With Mago
God
Robbie.
forbid this thing ever
Or the
takes
one-eye
off,
troll.
because if anybody sponsors you to go further than this and you get proper viewership, something's gone wrong with the world. But if it happens, I will come back with Margot Robbie.
We'll be
I'll
cancelled.
be very happy to see you all again.
Yeah, season 5, the last episode, Margot Robbie will be on this podcast.
God's sake.
That's my
False promises.
Yeah.
We ain't never ending season 4.
Right.
Well, anyways, Nick, it's been a pleasure having you.
It's been a pleasure.
Been a bit, yeah, it's been fun. Right.
And we'll see you next time.
See you soon.
Well, I'll see you tomorrow, mate.
Yeah.
Right.
See you soon,
See you in a
boys.
bit, Nick.
See you later.
Take care, bro.
Well, anyways, guys, that was the special guest
He's
for
gone.
the very last episode of season 1. Obviously, we are gonna carry on for a bit longer because it is a special episode. It is a special guest episode.
I suppose my question is then to you guys before we do it actually wrap all this up. How do you think this episode has gone so far, based off of the way we've laid it out? Do you think it's decent, shite, could do better? Like,
I think it was good. I still think there's some improvements. You know, obviously, like we do like to take suggestions.
There's always room to improve.
Obviously, this has been our very first season of this podcast, so there is always room for improvement, obviously, and hopefully we do get better during each season as it goes on. But what we like to do is take suggestions from the people, because if they're watching it and it's like something they hate about it, or they think, oh, they could have done that a bit better, you know, we like to hear that. So obviously, if there's any bit of that people want to, you know, give to us to maybe do, then we'll listen to everything. But no, I think it's been all right as of yet.
Fair enough. Well,
I mean,
I suppose.
Statement.
I was gonna say, yeah. I suppose that obviously in time it'll get better. I don't think it was too bad, to be fair. We had more than enough questions for him, and you know he was very reciprocating and happy to talk about everything, which was great. So if you are watching, Nick, thank you ever so much, mate, for coming on to the podcast. It's been a pleasure.
Right.
Yep.
And we will do a shout out in Discord with all the artwork in there, so whoever did miss it on the stream can go check the Discord, because you will see it.
Yeah, we've also been told we need more Chewy on stream.
Chewy is downstairs with the parents right now, so the mascot is not on for the end of the season 1. But unfortunately,
Apparently, we need to get Darren on the podcast.
Darren will be a special guest at some point.
I think the Centre Parks special should be when Darren gets on the podcast.
Yes, yes.
That would actually be
Centre Parks special.
Big Bobby Dazzler will make a debut in season 2.
He hasn't got a choice about it.
No. He gets his own special. The Centre Park special with Darren. That is what's going to come in what 2 weeks, 3 weeks time.
I generally think the highlight of season 1 has been mainly Darren.
Yeah.
Whether it was his choice or not, I don't know. But
For fuck's sake. Oh, the amount of times we name dropped him in the first couple episodes and we said we wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not going to name drop Darren. Oh shit.
Fucking brilliant. Anyway, guys, if you guys have got anything else to talk about and bring up, now would be the time. Otherwise,
well,
I'm ready to sign off season 1.
There is one thing.
Go on, then.
We need one last Chef's History Corner to end season 1 because season 2 we will not be bringing Chef's History Corner to season 2.
Yeah,
we'll be changing it to something else, to a different topic, like we're going to do every season. But Chef, it's up to you if you want to do one last one to kick off season 1.
What?
We'll just dance to it, Josh. We'll pretend.
Yeah.
Are you playing it now?
Yeah, playing it now. Welcome to Chef's History Corner. Hope you're all well today. And welcome to the amazing facts of history with Chef.
It should end with the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Diddle, 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 diddle.
Fun fact: did you know that the ancient Egyptians were the creators of toothpaste?
Okay.
They used herbal medicines and herbs and shit like that, and they made toothpaste. Mainly to freshen your breath more than actual brushing your teeth, because obviously the brush wasn't invented yet.
Who invented the toothbrush?
The ancient Egyptians.
The Egyptians ancient.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
there's also a also.
Is that all you've got to win season 1? Come on.
No. So. Did you know there was a very unlucky man in Pompeii? You all know the story of Pompeii. Mount Vesuvius erupted.
There's quite a lot of unlucky guys in Pompeii. I'm women. I'm kids.
Yeah. That's a lot of unlucky. But there was one man who was the most unluckiest man in the entirety of Pompeii. Basically, he survived the entirety of the eruption and all that. The first wave of destruction from Pompeii. For then the next day, a boulder just randomly fell on his head. That was from the volcano.
What, like spit out of the volcano and just fell on him?
Yep.
The next day, so it was still erupting a day later.
Yep.
But how was he not like miles away by that point? You know what I mean? Would you not just walk away from the volcano, surely?
Bear in mind this boulder was like massive. Like it was a massive boulder. It wasn't like a little stone. It was just like literally crushed his whole upper body / head.
Well. Was he a virgin as well? Because that would have been extra unlucky.
I mean, it doesn't say anything about that, unfortunately. You can't really tell much from a skeleton. But literally, apart from just this boulder was crushing his head.
That's not the fact I thought you was going to tell. I thought you was going to tell about the one who was like saw the volcano eruption and thought, I'll crank one out.
Crank me over wank.
Right, fuck it, I'll come out smiling.
Screaming at the lava as it's coming at him.
God's sake.
Trying to put it out.
Trying to put it out.
Oh, wow.
Making a little squirty noise. Oh my god.
No, that was going to be your fact, not that someone died to a boulder. Right, fair enough.
I mean, another fun fact. In 18th century England, pineapples were considered a status symbol to show that you are rich. And basically, for those who are rich enough to, would carry one around with them, they'll carry a pineapple around with them as a symbol of wealth.
Would it not just get mouldy though? You know what I mean? Surely it'd go mouldy eventually and rotten and that.
Yeah.
Why pineapple?
Yeah.
Don't know. Because it's a tropical fruit and it came from overseas. It's not grown here in the United Kingdom back in those times. But also, there was actual recorded instances where people actually died from eating too much pineapple, because the natural enzymes in pineapple actually eat away your skin. So the pineapple basically ate the person who ate them, basically. They ate too much pineapple and it basically ate away at the stomach lining, and basically they just drowned in their own stomach acid.
Incession, or whatever it's called. Inception.
Yeah.
Incession.
It's like inception, but it's like indigestion or in digestion.
We've had a thing. You can overdose on Doritos, apparently.
I mean, you can overdose on anything.
I'm sure you could I was going to say, I'm sure you could overdose on a lot of things. Like.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can literally die from drinking too much water.
Mm-hmm. Someone did do that. There was a water drinking competition.
Yeah. You don't drown. You literally die from like the water toxicity.
There was a story where it was like, oh, whoever can drink the most water or something wins like £5,000 or whatever the fuck. And this woman fucking signed up for it, and she ended up winning the competition, but died because she drank too much water. I think it was like, I can't remember how many liters it was, but it was like 5 times the fucking normal limit.
But that's incredible.
Like that. Yeah. But she died of H2O.
Jesus.
H2 overdose. There you go.
So what is going to be the new corner next season, and who will be doing it?
Well, this is a thing we need to discuss, or if anyone in chat has any suggestions for season 2 that you would like to hear. So it could be absolutely anything. Like, for example, it could be like the retarded country of the day. We find a fact from a random country who's done a retarded thing.
Yeah.
Something like that. Or like
I've also
American
had a
idiot.
thought.
It could be that. We just find some Florida man shit.
Florida man of the week.
What about a riddle type thing? So at the very beginning of the episode, ask a hard riddle, and then at the end reveal the said answer.
Ooh.
We could do a riddle. If someone wants to be the Riddler.
You be the Riddler, Joe could be the fiddler.
I don't really look into riddles that much, so I'd have to look up onto it.
I know a few. I'm sure we can find. But if anyone obviously in the chat does have some suggestions, join the Discord, leave it in the suggestions tab because we do read it all.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we definitely will think of something for season 2. And season 2, by the way, guys, is not going to start next week. So let me just get the dates right. It is not going to start on the 3rd. The first episode will be on the 9th, only because Sunday was it Mother's Day?
Mother's Day.
So Sunday the 10th is Mother's Day, so we will not be doing season 2, episode 1 on that day. It'll be the day before.
Mm-hmm.
And then the week after that, we will be doing the Centre Park special with special guest Darren.
The Centre Park special midweek would probably be like, I don't know, the fucking 14th or something, a couple of days after, because we will be at Centre Parks.
It'll be once we're not hungover and we've got everything set up.
Speaking of which, I do have.
I've heard.
Mics.
Josh. I've heard from someone that you're not drinking at Centre Parks. That you don't drink anymore.
I don't drink, mate.
Well, you don't drink anymore.
No, mate. I've not drank for years, mate. I drink on special occasions.
It's a special occasion.
I think Centre Parks is a special occasion, though.
Yeah.
Then I might be convinced to drink, but who knows?
I mean, do you know what I can like? The image I shared on Facebook the other day. I can't believe it's been 4 years since we've actually met each other in person, Josh.
I know, right? It's fucking time's flown,
crazy.
bro.
It's fucking crazy how fast time's gone.
How many times can you say Centre Park in one show? Quite a few.
Centre Park.
But yeah, if you didn't know, Mum Whedon, we are going to Centre Park soon.
Yeah, we're getting Centre Parks.
We are indeed, mate. Yeah, we're going to do a Cook Meat podcast special in Centre Parks.
Ooh.
A CMP SCP.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, it has come to the time to finally end season 1 of the Cook Meat podcast. So,
Do you know what? I didn't think we'd ever get here.
So long.
No, neither did I.
Farewell. Avidas and goodbye.
Right, it's been a pleasure, everybody. Thank you to everyone who's found this channel and has stuck around watching from episode 1 to those that have just decided to watch for this episode. It's been a huge thanks from all of us, and we will see you in just under 2 weeks for the start of season 2.
Yes.
Yeah. But for now,
do keep an eye out on TikTok, Instagram, and all the good jazz, because we will keep posting throughout the weeks. Obviously, stuff highlights from season 1, etc. So, but obviously, remember the 9th of March will be the first episode of season 2. So
it will indeed.
Do stay around for that. Anyways, guys,
right.
I think it is time to end the podcast there.
Okay, it's time to end it.
Any last words from anybody before we end?
No. Just thank you, everyone. It's been a pleasure.
Aye, really has. Anyways, guys, we've been your hosts. My name is Joe. I'm joined with Josh down below and Chef just to my left or right, wherever he is on the screen. But this has been
above,
or above, or diagonal, wherever. But this has been season 1 of the Company Podcast, and we're going to sign off there. So, see you guys.